Welcome everyone. Adam the Woo here as the recording of this Tuesday, February 15th, 2022. Behind me is a coffee place by the name of Chatty Cathy, where I got myself a piping hot caffeinated beverage. I am standing on the former theme park Heritage USA in Fort Mill, South Carolina, just over the North Carolina border into South Carolina on the outskirts of Charlotte. Quite a history. I've not been here in over a decade, and since I was here 10 years ago, a lot of stuff has been removed, but a lot of stuff still exists. So I am back to cover the interesting history and relics of what still remains of Heritage USA. Fascinating place. This place is very interesting. Join me, shall you? And also drinking yours isn't piping hot though.
Mine's piping warm.
Piping warm.
Piping warm.
And according to here, it just says, mine says Adam on it, yours says Tony.
Yeah.
The one and only Carolina Tony. You ever been to this property before?
Briefly.
Very briefly. But you haven't really dove into the nooks and crannies of the...
Exactly, and I'm kind of hoping that maybe you can show me some of that.
Okay.
And we'll see.
There you are, Adam.
Where's your coffee?
Oh, it's over there, but I ran after you all the whole way. Don't leave me in the back like that again, man. Oh. Hi, Tony.
Hey.
What's up?
You know what?
What?
You got a pretty man.
I'm gonna start here at the coffee shop called Chatty Cathy. Now this has been bricked over since the park closed in 1989, but this was the original registration building for the campground. Log cabin, all on the inside there is a log cabin. In fact, I will walk inside and show where the log cabin interiors are inside. You can see the log cabin that was also the exterior is the same on the inside as it was on the outside of the coffee place. So this is an original building from Heritage USA. And there used to be a tram that would pick people up here as well as take them all around the property. Should be able to find some remnants of the tram stops as well. So behind all this, as I just showed inside, they placed new brick. I will also be showing some old photographs that I found searching through old home videos and things that are posted online. This is what it looked like. This is the building here. And here is what it looks like now, modern day, 2022. And just adjacent, these cabins are also original cabins. Now, a lot of stuff out here will not be original. There is some new people that own the property, a new organization. But one thing that is probably the biggest landmark off in the distance is the Heritage Tower that is unfinished.
I just want to say, this is a place I'm not making a video from here. I'm just along for the ride. This is a place I've read about and just wanted to come to for
It's
so
a
long.
fascinating story.
I'm just listening to you. I'm drinking in the knowledge, basking in the woo-ness.
Berm. And I use the Disney reference because even Jim Bakker himself, who built all of this, well, there's a whole story. He hired a guy to build this, which the guy that built all this property built a lot of epic church buildings. He ended up marrying Jim Bakker's ex-wife, Tammy, afterwards. The guy that built it.
Dude.
The same guy.
What's his name? Ron?
Messner.
Is it Messner?
Yeah.
He married Tammy.
The Messner family from Kansas.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
But an interesting thing also about the Disney correlation, Jim Bakker himself said that he wanted a Christian Disneyland. There was a train out here, there was a water park, there was all kind of themed attractions, very similar. And at the time, at its peak, it was the third busiest theme park anywhere in the US, with the exception of, Walt Disney World Magic Kingdom, and of course Disneyland in Anaheim.
You just blew my mind. I thought that it never opened.
No, it was open.
It was open.
It was very busy.
Really?
I think they had 2,500 employees.
This was a general store. This is the foundation of a big general store that is now used as a makeshift basketball court. But the foundation is still here. The front entrance would have been right here. And you can see they used to have some pillars or something right there as well. The parking lot for the general store. And little relics of the past right down here. You can still see the theming on top of the cinder blocks. And most likely probably had a kitchen or some sort, or some sinks back here. You got the pipes for the water. Look at this Oldsmobile right here. Wow, there's not even a tag on it. So this was a Tram Stop right here. You can see the roof of this thing has seen better days. Kind of decayed a little bit. But this was a tram stop right over here. Oh, look at this fencing here as well. There's a bicycle pump right up there. And the fact that there were so many people here just enjoying the day, waiting for the tram to go by here to give you the tour of the property, going along this little paved area. What an interesting story. I'm not even going to really get into all the nitty gritty of it. There's a lot of stuff, you know, you could kind of do your own research, but yeah, it's
wild that they leave this one,
just this one thing.
tiny building.
Just wait for the tram, guys.
Yeah.
I wish they
I'm gonna ride the water slide.
You're gonna ride the water slide?
Ride the water slide.
You're gonna be like Jerry Falwell. Remember when Jerry Falwell did that?
No.
I'll tell you that story in a minute. And as you can see, a different company has taken over the property. Not all the property. A lot of the acres are not being utilized anymore, but this portion still has quite a few cars on it. This would be the Heritage Tower, where Falwell, who went down the water slide, it was a promotion that he did, took over for Jim Bakker and promised everyone if they gave the money that they would have a stay here in the Heritage Tower. Of course, you know, because of the controversy and everything that happened, that never took place. But Jerry Falwell still went down the water slide. And another little gazebo here, well, a gazebo at another tram stop. You could even see where the tram would pull off of the parking lot section, past this little area, and where this car is parked is where other people would wait for the tram stop. A lot of those old PTL episodes were all about promoting this. Heavily promoting when this was the groundbreaking, when this was being built. They were giving updates, requesting those would show their support by, I believe it was $1,000. You could almost get like a room here, and they would promise that you would be able to stay here after it was completed. And from what I heard, the thousands of people that donated $1,000 each only got a very small percentage of that money back.
It was probably going to be a
walkway in.
Yeah, walkway.
This bridge
So
going.
This building was here then.
So this is the original building. This is the original hotel, and it was so popular they were going to expand, and that's why they were building this, because so many people wanted to come out here. This is definitely the walkway up there that would lead in. So this was the Grand Hotel here through this entrance, but this is around the back side of it. But that says Grand Cafe. So Grand Hotel here, all original, and then this is the tower, the Heritage Tower, that are all rusted out. Oh, look at this. Wow, look at that little relic. First in Faith, electrical controls. Yeah, take a look at this here. The broken glass on there, the broken plexiglass, fiberglass. Or actually, you know, it's plastic. It's just made out of plastic. Now, right over here, when I was here 10 years ago, I believe I was here in late 2011, I stood in front of this. This was the castle. This was a big castle that has been completely bulldozed. It's not here anymore. Yeah, there was a castle right here.
Right on this giant concrete slab that we're standing on.
Right, this is the foundation of what the castle was. Got the parking lot there. In fact, over here is even more kind of foundation, like the front of like maybe the tile work of the castle. Again, you know, the Disney correlation, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella. This was Jerusalem's castle, but very similar to what you would see, something that Walt had envisioned. You're standing on the castle floor right now. You know, sometimes you never know if something is true or not, or if it's just a rumor, but this would have been an epic Wendy's. It was huge. I'll see if I can find a photo of what the castle looked like. Now, just to kind of line this up correctly, I'm going to stand in the parking lot. You could see someone in the parking lot there. So the castle would have been across the parking lot. Try to match up this angle. There was a moat and there was a bridge. With the front being right here, parking lot, that photograph was not me, I just found it on the interwebs. But this is the angle of where the moat was leading to the castle. So castle was right there, and there would have been a bridge going over this moat right about here. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. This might have been the old bridge.
Oh, yeah?
I think this might have been the old bridge. It's like been turned, or maybe part of the wall. But the bridge would have been here going over the moat. And look, you can even see the theming here. So this probably was like a pillar there. Bridge walked right over the front of that.
So this you're thinking is part of the bridge?
I'm thinking maybe it was the bridge shifted around.
Yeah.
But the entrance to the castle would have been right here. Parking is over here. And then you just walk right in. So you guys are in the castle. You're the kings of the castle.
See, look, these big poles.
Yeah.
I bet you this is where the chains were that would lower the bridge down.
The drawbridge. And lots of foundations out here. This little roundabout went over there. You know, one day all this will be apartments. All this land will be sold to developers, and it will be just like what you're seeing over there. Now the island was right over here. You see the water tower off in the distance. That was where the main attraction was, a water park. Now also over here, original fencing here, still with the green paint on it. And I'm showing this because across the way, across this waterway, is the old train tracks that led over to the water park. In fact, there seems like a piece of wood there that almost looks like it would be from a train track, and they follow this concrete around, and you're gonna kind of get the grand reveal, no pun intended, because this is called the Grand Hotel, of one of the original buildings. All of this is original. Obviously this was built towards the end of its days in the late 80s, but all along here, this was all original, right here. Okay, yeah. So that's the original railroad bridge here in the foreground. In the distance is the main ticket area where you would pay money to go on the island to go ride on, you know, the attractions at the water park, right over there. Now this doesn't line up correctly, but notice the big building in the background with the bridge up here. That building still stands. So this was taken over on the island. That's the wave pool. And here's an image of a guide map of the park. So you got the tower over here, I'm standing inland, but right there is the island. You could just see how monstrous the theming was. And this bridge here is partially still there, and the railroad bridge leading from the inland onto the island. I'm gonna go over there and show that angle too, but this is from the guide map. This is all original, most likely this as well. Very impressive looking structures here. To line up where the train tracks went over the bridge in correlation to where Jerry Falwell went down the water slides, those are the water slides behind, and this is the train bridge. I'm gonna match this up too from this same angle. The old railroad bridge. Still creaky. Oh my gosh, this is the same angle. The train would be going directly this way, doing a full tour of the property, around the water park, around the island. You can still see here, looks like a train trestle. Choo-choo! How cool is that? Water slides, basically where people are living right there. Starting at the top, all of this was the water park stretching over there. You can see that water tower. You can also see that bridge leading over, which was the ticket. This was not accessible. You weren't supposed to walk across this. It was just for the trains. But that now infamous footage of Jerry Falwell going down live on television from the top, plummeting, fulfilling his promise for the $20 million that was given for the supposed completion of this tower. And one of the locals, probably one of the residents now, walking across the bridge with his dog. There's also some photos and an interview with Jessica Hahn when she showed up here. And there, you know about Jessica Hahn, right?
I know a lot about Jessica Hahn.
You were on the car ride over, you were talking about interviews with her on Howard Stern.
Yeah, a lot, because I'm a big Howard Stern fan, like back in the day. And she was so bubbly and so personable. But you just showed me those pictures, they blew me away.
Right.
This place catered to people from their ministry who
Sure.
donated.
Right.
And deeply religious people there. Was it a draw for people to come, even if they weren't?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's you can find a lot of stuff online, people that weren't even into the ministry so much, they just wanted to go to a theme park, and that was part of the appeal.
Yeah, that's really fascinating.
There's also the photo here of an interview with Jessica Hahn. She returned back signing Playboys. So take a look at this. There is the tower in the background, and then there is the little cylinder, little awning that she's walking past. She's in the jeans right there, looking the other way. Someone's filming her with a big Griswold style video camera. Also, a local resident just walked by, was chatting with him a little bit. He was saying that they are attempting to reopen this, and there's, you know, the city and the town, there's a lot going on, a lot of red tape going on to try to reopen this, but this is structurally sound, the tower. So one day, according to the locals, there might be residents in there. Now the train track, as stated, went across here, but it basically followed what is now a sidewalk. So the train went right along the side of this waterway. Now you'll notice how very theme park looking the facades were. But look at the tower in the background, and then also look at this main building over here with the brick, and then down below you'll see a fence down here. There is the same fence right down here, repainted, but it is the same fence. And there's the side of that building, and there is the tower. They have repurposed the front. It doesn't have that kitschy theme park look anymore. And the tram would have gone right through here as well, looped around. Train would have gone down the side of that little hill towards the water park over there. Completely new facades. But right here, this was the main entrance. So whenever they would promote this hotel, or, you know, on the PTL show, they would always show the front of this building. Also, another photo of Jessica Hahn signing. As I said, she was signing her Playboys on the hood of a car. Look at the, yeah, true story. Right over there in the background is that building, kind of angled that way. That building is still here as well, which was the ticket area and where you would walk across the bridge to go to the water park. And then I walk over and get this angle as well. You can see kind of all adorned with all the festive looking items there. And that's about the angle right there. You're leaning on the same wrought iron fence that was used in those promotional materials, just repainted, obviously.
It's incredible.
You feel like you're in the 80s, the late 80s? It was also used on the front of the brochure, the pamphlet, the same angle there with the family walking along the little rail, the little wrought iron. Yeah, this is almost like the guide map, right, of sorts. And here's another angle looking back across with all the little kind of streamers and whatnot going across. Standing underneath the Vision Center, which was the ticket booth that led over to the water park, to kind of get this angle. Now the bridge that led over to the water park from the little main area, this is the only way you could access the water park from like a ticketed area, has been cut off in half. You cannot cross it. But I wanted to show this angle because there is a photo from here back in the day of the bridge extending across and the water park off in the distance. There was also a gazebo on the other side, right there on the island, where those houses are. As shown here, there's the concrete pylons that had the bridge. Of course, the bridge was fully across. There's the gazebo, water park in the distance. Those theme rocks are still there. Those are not real rocks. Now, I would like to cross over there at some point and walk over and get a better peek at those. That is theming. That is probably made of a fake substance, not non-rock-like. There are two photos. Jim was standing in the same spot, but you'll notice the railroad bridge off in the distance, and then this one, I think maybe the cameraman kind of like just walked around him. So you see in the bridge off to the distance leads to the water park, and then the other one, that is the train trestle. But he would have been standing more or less right about there. So you got the first one of him here, looking off in the distance with the water slides in the background and the train trestle. Camera person, whoever it was, shifted this way and got him from there as well. That is something else. I've seen those photos many, many times. That was used heavily in their promotional material.
Adam, in some of the photos you were showing earlier, wasn't there a rock wall? Did you already mention that?
Oh, the fake rock wall. Yeah, I want to walk over there. Yeah. You're walking right on the railroad tracks. This metal stuff?
Sure. Was it so?
I mean, that's real.
Oh, yeah.
But I think this is fake down here.
I know.
Look at this. Just don't fall in the water.
I have enough of water and mud. I'm good.
You know what? It's just made out of concrete.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe it'd be like a plasticky substance.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, you know. Oh god.
Don't fall in, man. Don't get too close.
Oh, good. That's concrete.
Concrete?
Yeah.
Oh, look, this is falling over.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, this pylon has fallen. Wow. Okay, so this was the last one of the bridge that went across. They just cut the bridge off. This either fell on its own accord or they pushed it over.
Papers come out here, I guess, residents or whoever sit at the top there.
Right there, perhaps water
Yeah,
was
the pipe.
trailing back down.
Like a waterfall.
Give that illusion of we're fixing to really have some fun in this water park. Tiga K.
They lived in a place called Tiga K.
You know, don't hold me to it. I'm just thinking. I remember,
Yeah.
You know, here's the thing. The 70s, to me, was kind of foggy.
Was it?
Yeah, you know.
Okay. Wonder if these geese have any idea that they're walking where the water park was.
I can guarantee you, Adam, they do not, because they are Canadian geese. Just like me. And I do not like them. I'm an animal lover.
You don't want,
They
oh,
are
no.
vicious.
Trust me, I don't get too close to geese. This little embankment here, kind of like looking down this bridge. Now it has been bulldozed quite a few years ago. When I was here 10 or 11 years ago, the amphitheater, which was kind of in this general area where these houses are, still stood. And I was able to get inside and see that, but it's gone now. This is a relic.
For sure, eh? Wow.
And then the road just ends right here. I'm thinking this was like a construction road almost to lead into the island. And it just ends right here where these homes are now. Yeah, just look at all this. Just very unusual. If you didn't know the history of all this, you would think, why is all this, these little concrete pieces and broken sidewalk through here? Here's another original fencing with the green paint on it. Right here along there. And the train would run parallel to this. So the train tracks would go alongside of all of these sidewalks. Now this is an older satellite image here back when this pool was abandoned. You could see, but they have cleaned it up a lot. But notice the angle of the pool walking along. This is adjacent. Water park is kind of like up there just a bit. But this pool is still over here off to the side because they've built some new houses. But they kept the pool and cleaned it up, and the pool is still here. Here, look at this. Is this structurally sound? I don't know if I want to walk on this. Yeah, look at this old dock. There is a swan right there. That's a very beautiful, very impressive looking big swan. But over here, so these cabins are the original cabins, kind of going full circle. That coffee shop we went to earlier is kind of over in that area. And that gazebo is from '89 as well. So many very weird, unusual formations like this. Like, look at this is something.
This is from Left Behind.
Yeah, but you would go up here, get a little. You could take a, either a wheelchair or a bike or anything up this little incline. You got the drainage area, but then there's some stairs here, almost as if it was like a seating area or a stage. You gonna just grab a seat? You waiting for the show?
One of those things looks like when it's not torn down.
There. Okay, yeah, it has the power units on the side.
Junction box.
It was called junction box.
Yeah.
See, I learned a lot from you, Carolina, Tony.
If the door lifted up, it would be a switch box.
Okay.
So, what? Wow.
If the door opened up, it would be a switch box or breaker box, as breakers would be in it. But if it don't open, it's a junction box. There are outlets on the side where you plug in electrical devices.
I think somebody disagrees with you. Listen to him.
No. Ooh, that cat's running across there. Go, cat, go.
Carolina Panther.
Go, cat, go. Go, cat, go. Okay, we've walked all around this. Now we're going to go inside. Now you can see the little holes here where the fence used to be along there, going past my shadow here. But I'm noticing here, you can see some slight remains of where the railroad used to be. So if you just kind of use your imagination, you see here, this is where the slats here were, these little indentations, where the railroad went along parallel to the sidewalk. Now I made a mistake over there. When we first got here, there was a sidewalk along the front entrance, and I said that the sidewalk replaced the railroad tracks. I was looking at old photos. I was incorrect. I stand corrected. The railroad track went beside. So this is original sidewalk and original railroad tracks. Yeah, so take a look at this. With the castle off in the distance, so the tracks, train tracks run parallel to all the sidewalks. It's just off to the side of that train, probably like an 8 scale train if I had to guess. And there's Jim and Tammy Faye Baker right there on that small train going around the tracks. I guess we should walk under the bridge before we go in, just to see what that looks like. We're gonna get to see Main Street USA inside, what remains of it. Now underneath the bridge, there is a stairwell that leads up to it. But this is what it looks like underneath where all the guests would be walking. So they would walk up across here. They'd be in their bathing suits, had their ticket, their admission, their wristband, whatever they utilized to designate whether you were either paid admission or staying on property. You would walk across this bridge and into Water Theme Park. And they've cut it off right here. Amazing. Very unusual history here on the North-South Carolina line. All right, going inside to see what remains. I'm really hoping, I'm crossing my fingers that when we get in here, it will look exactly the same as it did back in the Heritage USA days. Maybe even see something. Again, it is now owned by the Fellowship Morningstar Church. Going in. Oh yeah. Yeah, I recognize this from a lot of the holiday specials. A lot of stuff took place in here. Jim and Tammy Faye, right over in this area, going up that stairwell. Yeah, so they have the chairs there in front of the bricks. The tree is up between where the elevator goes up and down. And then you got the rooms beside it. But there they are, standing right there doing the PTL show. They were using that as a makeshift stage there. Audience down here where these tables are, looking that way with the tree right there over there where the elevators are. And they have this little timeline here. This in '87. So that's what the Heritage Hotel looked like then. Heritage USA, this confirms what I was saying, was the second most visited destination in the USA, second only to Disney World. Let's say probably Disneyland is probably number 2. This is number 3, but still noted. And then in '97, the hotel was shut down and vandalism elements and neglect. This is what it looked like outside in '97. And then of course, this area of the property is all now being utilized by a new congregation.
And over here, I don't know if you caught on camera, we thought that was, well, I thought it was an optometry, but it's actually a place for prayer, praise, and prophecy.
Oh.
It's a vision center.
Okay, we were thinking it was a place that,
Yeah,
okay.
eye doctor.
Okay, all right, here it is. I have wanted to see this. This is the first time I visited this place. For whatever reason, I did not go in here. This is what they consider Main Street USA. It almost is very similar to Walt's vision that he based on Marceline, Missouri, where he grew up at Disneyland, California, and Walt Disney World, Magic Kingdom in Florida. What in the name of heck? This is eerie. In a lot of ways, this is so unusual. I mean, it's awesome, but wow. I'm almost looking for like the Main Street windows. You know, the Imagineers and whatnot. I'm not going to find that here. But it's even addressed 120 Main Street. Looks like some of the congregation, or at least those who are here, are eating their dinner. As the recording of this, it is a Tuesday. Look at this. This is amazing. There's even a trolley down at the end. Oh, what the heck? I had no idea this was this elaborate in here. No idea. The Main Street little theaters over here. All of these rooms are being utilized for classes. The campus. Look at this. Now this is, like I said, this is incredible, but I feel like we've stepped into a version of the Twilight Zone in some kind of a way.
some are lit up with stuff going on.
Classes on the bottom levels. It's a Tuesday as recording as I was saying. But this place there's a lot of people in here.
Yeah.
And we are getting some interesting looks on why we're filming. However, someone that works here came out and asked what we were doing, and they invited us in to film. So we do have permission to film through here. So thank you to the new owners for allowing us to walk around and document this history. So over here, okay, this just says elevators.
Now, if anyone ever watched the PTL Club, this doll should be very familiar to you.
Oh, there we go. We finally found a Heritage USA. Look at all
This
this.
doll in puppet form.
Here's an LP. Jim and Tammy present. Wow. Incredible. There's that pool right there. No, that's the wave pool. That's the wave pool that was on the
That's on the island.
on the island. There's all look at Heritage USA, PTL, Mary Medicine. I am glad we went in here.
Log cutting ceremony at the opening.
Look at that. Wow.
Ruler. Jim Baker's 8 keys to success. How'd that turn out?
Right. He probably didn't even read his own book.
He didn't write his own book.
This is incredible. The whole backstory and history is really it's almost like something out of a soap opera. And obviously there's just too much to go into detail here. We do need to go over this. This is called the upper room. We're going to try to find that on the way out. What you got? Oh, look at this. Is this them building it?
Wow.
Making an egg sandwich.
Or this is them
$3.95.
on site while the construction people are. Wow. There's Tammy right there. And then, this is when the trams going by. And of course, during the holidays, they had an event called Christmas City. There's even a vinyl LP. And so it was called the Partner Center, which is what we're inside of right now, which was the Heritage Hotel. So this is even, look at this. This is even before the water park was built. Wow. So this came first, and then the water park came afterwards. Oh, they had a ferry boat. Look, that's a ferry boat dock right there.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we were over there looking at the rock work.
And I'd just like to say to your viewers that if they'd like to come and visit the theme park, sorry folks, park's closed. Who's so French done told you?
Even a trolley. It's not horse-drawn. Kind of something you'd see over at DCA. That style. Number 33, 5-cent fare. The Heritage Transit. Main Street Trolley. Look at this. It's just something else in here. Something else. At the end of Main Street was the conference center. You could lead in there. It's like it's still being utilized as well. And even have almost like an emporium in here, if you will, here at the front. This little boutique section over here. This is all indoors. Indoors to make it seem like outdoors. Right? With the trees. Fake trees on the side. And there was a bakery and a deli called Der Baker Deli. And we're trying to find it. Looks like Scott has found it down here. Named obviously after the bakers. Baker, bakery. And that sign was right there. So this was the deli. The Der Baker Deli. Right there. Still looks the same though. That was just a clock where their name was. They've removed the name. Okay, this has been quite an experience so far. Still one or two things I want to show outside, but this Main Street area. Yeah, wow. And here's a closer view of the water tower there. Once again, the Heritage USA logo has been removed, but it was kind of mounted up there on the side of that water tower.
Yeah, you kind of see where it was.
You can?
Sort of.
I guess you kind of see where the sticker was,
Yeah.
right? And what is now here on the same general vicinity, an RV lot. This was also a tram stop from back in the 80s. You'd have guests waiting here. Now it's used for information check-in and propane refill, and definitely getting our steps in. We've walked all the way from there to here, and we're looking for one building that still should remain up here on the left. It still exists, and from what I'm hearing is still active for those who would like to come here and meditate, worship. But this was built back in the PTL days. In fact, this little sculpture here was back from the 80s as well, when the park and everything was in its heyday. Now also over here, laid to rest, is Aubrey Sarah. And I had to research this a little bit. Thankfully someone has kept this up, because a few years ago this building was in quite disarray and this property was not in the best shape. But now it is looked over and kept up. There are some flowers down here as well. But Aubrey Sarah, after I was kind of researching it, was the mentor of Jim Bakker. So Jim Bakker, looked up to them, learned in memory of Buddy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Right up there, yeah. And then Donna Sue Lambright, born in 47, passed away in 13.
It's weird. It's hard to say if any of these people are related, because not one last name is the same here. So it's on the family clock.
Loyal friend, you are forever in our heart, Buddy. And going down this incline, kind of below the bridge area here, is the slates of the 10 Commandments. Oh, okay, here's the first documentation that says the word Heritage USA, other than the little museum area they had inside. Dedicated to the honor of partners, volunteers, and employees who built the upper room and Heritage USA. There it is. Now I cannot get inside, but this little inscription right here, Acts 2:4, the verse leading up to, appropriately called, the upper room. And from here, going to go over to one last spot before heading over.
Where they broadcast
Heading over to the barn and then done. It's like a castle, doesn't it? And down at the bottom of this hill, past this neighborhood, you got apartments, houses over here. A little relic of the past down the middle, and more apartments and houses right there. You see this cul-de-sac extends out down to this building where they did a lot of productions. Now there is another active organization here, Antioch, but there are some remnants from back in the day. Right down the hill here. Yeah, you could just imagine all the guests here on property, staying on property, visiting the attractions, waiting for the tram. That has been me many times at many a theme park. When is the tram gonna come through? Look at this old wood down here. Out here shielded from the elements though. There it is, next to you got the blimp up top there. And there is an artistic rendering of the old barn. They did a lot of the productions. And it appears as if from the front angle that you can definitely tell it looks like a barn, there was a sidewalk where people would walk from one building into the front of the old barn production studio. What if that sidewalk? And here is that walkway. Called a sidewalk, but yeah, it was just a pavement walkway that led up this into something where people were staying, or maybe I don't know where they would be walking from. It's now a retention pond.
The upper room. The upper room
But,
is right through there.
What is?
The upper room.
Oh, the upper room. Yes, true. Good point. The upper room would have been that way. And then you turn around, and where that photo was taken, there is the barn production studio. Walking right down that. I just love history. I love like matching stuff like that up. Just so fascinating to me to think back of the past. People walking right along here and there to watch Jim and Tammy Faye Baker do their show. Very interesting.
So all those episodes were produced inside here.
They did it in I think they did some in Charlotte, which is like, 30 miles north of here.
Oh, really? Okay.
But they did a few here as well. So I think
I know for a fact that this was the studio building, but if you look to your left, Adam,
yeah,
that's known as the mascara building. That's where Tammy Faye kept all her mascara.
That's the mascara building?
Yeah, we read it online.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And the door's open, so we just walked in. We're inside the barn right now. Now uses the Antioch Church.
This is inside the barn. This is actually where they shot.
Isn't that is amazing to think about.
Inside here.
Wow.
Jim and Tammy Faye was set right up on the stage. A live audience.
That is something else. All the telethons. Wow. Oh, there are some unusual sounds. Listen. Frogs. Now these are very interesting too, almost like flying saucer style houses here in the woods. These look like they could have dated back to that era as well. These are cool. And that's going to do it for today, back where not only I, but we began. Carolina Tony, thanks for tagging along.
Thank you.
Scott on tape, thanks for tagging along.
Well, what else was I going to do?
I'll see you in the next video, the vlog. This used to be a log cabin, did I tell you?
I think I heard that before.
Where are you from?
It's Canada, way down south.
The vlog is over. You know what that little grassy thing right there is called, that hill?
It's called a berm. What a berm.
And way out on the outskirts of the property, this is an original building as well, this pyramid looking building. I just keep adding on to this. Bonus footage. Something over here too next to this building. Another tram stop? Yeah, I think it is.